Hello YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic. And welcome back to my YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have you all back here together again. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a ranking of all 9 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. Daredevil Born Again finally came out with the season finale, and today we're going to be ranking all 9 episodes of season 1. So let's go ahead and get started talking about the Daredevil Born Again episodes. Okay, so coming from me at number 9, we have episode 5. So if you don't know, this is the episode where Matt tries to get a loan at a bank. He meets Miss Marvel's dad. But apparently the bank is caught in a robbery. Matt goes back to it and saves the day. To be clear, I don't really have nothing wrong to say with it. I like that it's just a side story in what Matt does in his, personal life, or like what happens to him on the daily. I thought, him and Miss Marvel's dad, all that stuff was kind of nice. A little bit of the action was kind of cool, but overall, like, I don't know if it was just because it felt so different from the rest of the show that it just couldn't really work for me all that much. That I had a like I was watching it and I'm like, yeah, I'm liking this, but I'm not exactly loving this. I don't know. I couldn't get that excitement that I had from the other episodes higher on this list, but that's just me. But unfortunately, it comes in last place. Alright, number 8, I have episode 4. So this is the episode where we get Punisher in here. And honestly, I don't really remember. I feel like this episode should have probably been in last, but the reason why it's not is because I kind of don't remember it, but the only thing I really remember is the whole conversation between Matt and Punisher. That whole sequence is top tier MCU, possibly top tier MCU scenes, because it's kind of like, just anytime Punisher mentions the stuff about his family, it's gut-wrenching to me. And to see Matt kind of finally break, and until he goes into the Daredevil costume, is kind of heartbreaking. And you finally see him cry, and you get to see his emotions out. And it's just heartbreaking. But once again, I can't rank it too high because I do not remember much of it. But that's just me. So now we have number 7. I have episode 7. So this episode was actually quite good. I think that there'll be a bit of a major gap between all the other episodes up on this list. So with episode 7, I thought the way they handled this one was... Oh yeah, I remember about episode 4, where it was like the guy trying to get caramel corn. Yeah, I did not really like that all that much. So with episode 7, I liked the building of the tension in all these situations. The reason why I have a little bit lower is because I feel like the way they set up Muse and the way they just wasted him just felt very forced. It felt very rushed, and I wish we could have actually gotten a lot more time to spend with Muse. I can't believe they just killed him off. It was not good. But, so the action scene was kind of cool. The stuff that Fisk did in letting the cops take the blame, that was kind of crazy. But overall, that's kind of my general thoughts on that episode. Number 6, we actually have episode 2. I really enjoyed this episode. I think there's probably a major gap between all the episodes up on here on out. So with episode 2, I thought it was pretty great. I liked the introduction to a lot of things with, Hector Ayala, and that we're trying so hard to prove that he is a hero and all this stuff. And, we find out he's the White Tiger and all that stuff, and Matt finds out the witness so we can prove him guilty, but he, there's corrupt cops trying to get him, and so he beats them up. There's a lot of, it kind of just feels like it's just a continuing story. That's one of the things I like about this show. It just continued a story. And, I think it was really good. Once again, I have some problems with the action in that shot. Everybody says that they love it because of the brutality. I'm not a big fan of it because I don't like the way it's choreographed. Like, nobody's talking about the choreography in this show, man. It needs to be better. Number 5, I have episode 8. So episode 8, I thought was really something good. And to just kind of talk about it, I mean, there's just so many, crazy things. I think, this was one of the first episodes that we got that was part of the new team. So obviously the sauce in the way they were making it and all the juice they had for it. Every time it turned blue when Bullseye was locking in, it was, of course, menacing and terrifying at the same time. And I also loved learning about all the stuff with Bullseye, and that he was hired to kill Foggy because of a certain court case and all that stuff, and it made sense. I loved all the tension building and all that stuff, and I love that we came to a fact that Matt actually saved Fisk. He's been trying to get at him this whole time, and yet he actually saved him. And it makes you question, so that's how far these characters have come. So it makes you interesting, makes you think. Number 4, I'm actually going to go with episode 8. No, actually, I'm going to go with episode 9. Sorry. That was episode 8. We're now talking about episode 9. Once again, I just reviewed it on my channel. You can check out my review now. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I loved it. I thought it was great. I loved the Daredevil and Punisher team up that we got. I loved the return of Karen. And I loved everything that they're going to be doing for season 2. Heather is on Fisk's side. Fisk has all the vigilantes locked up except for Punisher. He's probably escaping. And Daredevil is going to assemble an army. So that's all I really got to say. Number 3, I have episode 6. This was really the episode that I feel like I actually got back on board with this show. Where I'm like, because you had 2 episodes that week with episode 5 and 6. Episode 5 was kind of cool and stuff. I liked it, but it wasn't I didn't love it. We get episode 6, I'm fully engaged. I loved it. And it actually gave me an action sequence that I thoroughly enjoyed. Where I liked the one in episode 9, but the fight scene in this one with Matt and Muse, with Daredevil and Muse, oh man, was so great. I mean, yeah, the choreography still needs a little work, but it's definitely possibly the best fight in this show, as it's it's brutal. He's throwing punches. He's like, ba ba ba, oh, it's so good, and the music, and he's just like, wow, ba. And it's just, oh, it's so great. And I love learning about Muse and all that stuff that they're learning, that all these murals are being painted by people's blood. And it's so interesting. It's so menacing. And, I loved it. I loved it. At number 2, I have episode 3. This one really was one of my personal favorite episodes because it just, much like episode 2 that I think kind of failed on in giving me answers, this one was basically a whole court case. All the scenes were mostly in the court, And basically, we were just trying to, and also, and honestly, I think that's what I really enjoyed about it, is that it really just stuck to trying to get the answers out to plead Hector's case. And Matt is doing whatever he can to try to help him. And so the only thing he can do is reveal his identity to the court. Obviously, if that was me, you should have asked. And somehow it's pretty crazy that he actually got proven guilty, and and he pleads his case, and then he gets killed off. Here's my biggest problem with this show, with this thing, though. I've talked about I love this episode. My only issue with this episode, though, is, and really the White Tiger character of himself, I wish we could have at least seen an action sequence of him. Like, that's the thing, they wasted Hector Ayala, they wasted Muse. Now, granted, I don't know if we're going to get Ava Ayala in Season 2 for White Tiger and Heather as Muse. We'll see. But for me, I'm honestly not sure what they're going to do. Because I really wanted to at least see an action scene, maybe with Daredevil and White Tiger working together or something. And then he gets killed in action, and Daredevil does that. I don't know. I would have loved to seen it more, but that's really my thoughts. But in first place, my favorite episode of this season is episode 1. Guys, if I'm going to be completely honest, this is probably the greatest episode that I've seen in fiction. Yes, you don't get a lot of action. It's mostly talking, but that's what makes this show great. First off, let's talk about that thrilling opening sequence where we just start off with our 3 leads from the Flash show just being in all happiness. They won a court case. Their law firm is going well. And then Foggy dies. You get this fight with Daredevil and Bullseye in Josie's. And Matt attempts murder. And even though he fails, he attempts it. And throughout that whole sequence, there's so many feelings you're feeling like, wait, they're killing off Foggy? Right in the first episode, right in the first 10 minutes. And not only that, your jaw is on the floor because Matt just attempted murder and trying to kill Bullseye. What the fuck? What just happened? And you see the end credits. His whole world is crumbled. 1 year later. And Matt hasn't been Daredevil for a year. He hasn't been all this stuff. And it's just shocking. And you see like the conversation between Matt and Karen and how heartbreaking it is. And then you see the conversation with Matt and Fisk in the diner. And all that stuff was really good, especially in catching up with them. And I'm like, oh man. And honestly, I wish that the peakness that this episode was, that's how it should have stayed throughout the entire show. But the entire show wanted to be something else. And that was frustrating and that was disappointing. But that is my thoughts on all. So for me, episode 1 comes in at number 1. And for me, yeah, I loved episode 1. It was perfect. The perfect way to open up this show. And yeah, mostly when it comes to shows that I do love and like, technically, when it comes to the first episode, I tend to love them more because they're just awesome openers, and this one had an awesome opener. And yeah, there was definitely a few episodes I wasn't a big fan of, but I still love the show. It doesn't really ruin the fact that I loved it. I still think it's one of the best MCU shows we've gotten. But that is my thoughts on Daredevil, Born Again, and all the episodes. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.